G'day guys, and welcome back to another video, and today I'll be doing wireless networking and starting off at the basics. So, next topic. 504, what type of wireless network involves two wireless clients connecting to one another? We got FCC, infrastructure, domain-based, and ad hoc. So with this one, we've got, most of them are obviously wireless, I suppose, access point based. This is involving, I suppose, two clients connecting to each other, so two machines, for example. This sort of arrangement, therefore, I suppose, is the ad hoc. So that's obviously pretty much defined in the question there, where it will be one device connecting to another rather than an intermediary where you'd normally have like a router or wireless device to connect to, connecting to something directly. In that sense, 505, which of the following is considered the name of the wireless network? We've got ESS, SSID, TKIP, FCC. You probably would have seen this a lot of times when you're connecting to wireless networks on your laptop. The answer is B, SSID, the Service Set Identifier, which is what that stands for. There's a few in here that I didn't know off the top of my head, and I do now, so even I'm learning things. 506, which agency is responsible for defining the wireless standards? We got Wi-Fi Alliance, FCC, the IETF, and the IEEE. And these guys do a lot of standards for a lot of different things, just based on their name, which is quite generic. It's the IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. It's one of the most boring names, but they've done some pretty magical things. And I always forget it too, so had to have that written down. 507, in the figure shown below, what type of wireless networks exist? So we've got ESS, BSS, TKIP, or FCC. So we've got two routers with the same SSID. Again, this will probably be, I suppose, discovered in the textbook or anything online that you guys are sort of training with. For when cases come up, this is probably pretty normal in a corporate environment or even like I suppose an educational sector. Pretty much anywhere that has a reasonable office space will be ESS, which is Extended Service Set, and has a few characteristics which we'll obviously cover in some later questions, because there'll be some questions asking for what type of network is this, and yeah, we'll wait and see. 508, which of the following devices could cause interference with your wireless network? Select two: TV remote, cordless phone, microwave, and toaster. So you often read this in the textbook and often see things that affect interference. So TV remote's just infrared, so there's no real dramas there. I think it's still infrared. A toaster's just plugged in via power, which is all good. It doesn't seem to affect too much. However, I'll just give you the answer there. Cordless phones and microwaves, they affect signal. Yeah, cordless phones can obviously be similar frequencies, and microwaves just not good to put near computer equipment. Or not good to put computer equipment near microwaves. 509, you are installing a wireless network for a small office environment. The manager is worried that someone in the parking lot can connect to the wireless network. What could you do to help minimize the chances of that happening? Change the SSID, change the ESSID, enable SSID broadcasting, change the power levels on the access point. Depends on the person. If it's a normal person, then that's fine. If it's an unauthorized individual, maybe better security mechanisms. But the real answer for this one is D, change the power levels on the access point. Because the more power you put into an access point, or I suppose the more you configure it to have more power to be able to broadcast further, it will go further than potentially necessary, which is obviously a security risk, and then you've got people who can log in, so that can be a chance. Obviously, the others don't really matter. If you change the SSID, they'll just connect to that SSID, do whatever really. 510, in the figure below, what type of wireless network exists? We got ESS, TKIP, BSS, or FCC. In this instance, there's one single wireless network which devices connect to, so this is a pretty straight down the line, normal setup at home. And this type of setup is a basic service set, BSS, so the answer there is C. 511, you are experiencing intermittent problems with your wireless network and you suspect it is interference from other wireless devices. What can you do to solve the problem? We've got change the SSID, enable MAC filtering, disable SSID broadcasting, change the channel on the wireless access point. From other wireless devices. Yes, yeah. So if there's issues and potentially other devices, I suppose, potentially causing that, changing the SSID is just simply the name of the network. It has nothing to do with why there's problems. From when there's interference from other devices, it can have problems with the actual network profiles if they are corrupt or whatever on, say, a Windows machine or a Mac machine. However, not that. MAC filtering will only be a security mechanism for devices that can connect to it. So that will mean that it will the router will filter it by MAC address, and only the MAC addresses that it will allow through can work. Disable SSID broadcasting, again, doesn't really matter. It's just not allowing people to see it easily. So that leaves us with D, change the channel on the wireless access point. That's normally one of the first things you do when there is issues. 5.12, what type of wireless network involves the wireless clients connecting to a wireless access point to access the network? We've got FCC, infrastructure, domain-based, ad hoc. Wireless clients connecting to wireless access points, that is an infrastructure setup. So B is the answer there. Which of the following facts are true of the WLAN diagram displayed below? We've got select 2. So we've got diagram represents an ESS network with each access point using a different SSID. Diagram represents an ESS network with both access points using the same SSID. Diagram represents a BSS network with both access points using the same SSID. Each access point is using a different channel. Each access point is using the same channel. Okie dokie, so I'll go whip through this one pretty quickly. So BSS, it's not going to be BSS because there's 2 routers, or there's multiple wireless access points. So therefore it's going to be an ESS, and they'll be using the same SSIDs as we saw earlier. So B is one of the answers. They're not using different SSIDs, and then it's just a matter of whether they're using different or the same. They use different channels. So therefore B and D are the answers. 5.14, which of the following are requirements for an ESS network? We've got select 3 this time. So we got multiple access points, same SSIDs, multiple access points, sorry, different and then same. Different frequency range, same frequency range, access points must overlap by 10% or greater. Access points must overlap by less than 10%. Okie dokie, I'll just give you the answers for this one. So it's B, C, and E. To obviously fulfill the criteria of an ESS network. In multiple access points, the same SSIDs. Each access point uses a different frequency range, as you would have found out in my last answer for the last question. And access points must overlap by 10% or greater. 5.15, which agency is responsible for regulating the use of wireless and wired and wireless frequencies, I'm assuming? We've got Wi-Fi Alliance, IEEE, IETF, FCC. The agency for regulation of use is FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. So that is their job. Which of the following is another term for an ad hoc wireless network? So we've got BSS, IBSS, ESS, FCC. And another term is B, independent basic service set, if I can pronounce things properly. This is another way for ad hoc networks. So obviously a basic service set, which is where you connect into a router as normal. The dependency part of it just allows the ad hoc setup. So ad hoc's normally pretty independent. 5.17, you are the administrator for a small office and have configured 4 access points to create the wireless local area network. What type of WLAN is created? We've got BSS, ESS, IBSS, and FCC. 4 access points to create a wireless. What is created? It is an ESS, extended service set, because there's multiple routers. If it was just one router, it'd be BSS. Which type of wireless network uses a single wireless access point with an SSD assigned? I just said it. It's BSS, basic service set. 5.19, you have manufactured your own wireless network card and would like it tested and certified for Wi-Fi compliance. What organisation would do this? We got Wi-Fi Alliance, IEEE, IETF, FCC, and that is a job for the Wi-Fi Alliance. 520, you have installed a single access point to create a WLAN for a small office. What type of WLAN did you create? As we were mentioning before, there's one access point. It's just basic, so BSS, basic service set. 521, which wireless LAN design ensures that a roaming user does not lose connectivity when moving from one wireless access point to another? So we got ensure that all access points are using the same channel, ensure that all access points has a different SSID, ensure that the manufacturer of the access point and wireless network cards are the same, ensure that the area of coverage by both access points overlaps by at least 10%. So what we do know is when we're creating a roaming user, we don't want them to use the same channel, we want different channels to be used. It's pretty useless to have different SSIDs if you want a roaming user, because then it's not going to automatically connect, or not going to connect properly if you're using this different SSID. And doesn't really matter if the cards are the same, so therefore D is the answer. Ensure that the area of coverage by both access points overlaps by at least 10%. 522, which agency is responsible for ensuring compatibility with wireless networking components? We got Wi-Fi Alliance, IEEE, IETF, and the FCC. And A is the answer. Wi-Fi Alliance, they look after that. 523, which three wireless channels do not overlap with one or the other? We got 248, 1611, 489, 369. I wrote answer like a few of the ones we've done just recently. The answer is B, 1611 do not overlap. 524, which type of wireless network supports roaming users by having multiple access points share the same SSID? We've got BSS, ESS, TKIP, and FCC. So, as you would have seen recently, multiple access points and sharing the same SSID are characteristics of an ESS, extended service set. That's all, guys. Some more questions today, a bigger set than normal, but I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. I appreciate your time. Subscribe away, all that really good stuff. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.